Hello and welcome to part 2 of this two-part series where I write a piano and vocal singer-songwriter type of ballad for a recent client of mine, and I wound up using Toontrack's Ez Keys to get the job done. So in part 1, I put together the chorus by building out the chord progression based off of a rough vocal melody idea that I hummed into my phone. So if you haven't seen that yet, be sure to go check it out as it will provide ample context for today's video. That all said, here is a quick recap of where things left off in part 1. So here are the rough phone ideas.
Remember the times when you would hold my hand, speaking the visions and the dreams you had. Oh, the path was rocky, but we made it to the other side.
And here is the finished chord progression based off of the vocal melodies. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be taking the same process that I applied to the chorus in part 1, and we'll be building out the verses as well as the pre-choruses. So I had spent a couple of days putting together the music and the lyrics, so I have a rough idea about the structure and how it's going to go, but it's not 100%. So this is where EzKeys comes in. And by the way, if you're interested in knowing how I was able to put the music and the lyrics together in 2 days, I've actually put my process into a step-by-step checklist that you can actually grab for free at the link in the description below. All right, let's get into it. All right, so now let us move on to the verse. So let's see what we got here.
That was the day when I first saw you, smiling bright and hopeful, there you were.
Okay, so the melody for the verse, at least in the beginning, is similar to what the melody for the chorus is going to be, and that was kind of intentional. It was kind of a, like a foreshadowing of the main hook of the song. So the chords are also going to be similar, but therein lies the challenge, right? It's like, how do I bring in something similar without it sounding completely the same, and then as a result just getting really repetitive and boring, right? So that's what I have to fix right here. Let's bring in the click.
That was the day.
So boom, ba da da da.
That was the day.
It's pretty good. You know what? I still think this is a little fast. Let's bring this down.
That was the day when I first saw you.
Yeah, boom. Da, 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 da. So right off the bat, where are we at? Bar 2. Let's move you out of the way. Just gonna create this from scratch. So we have.
Saw you. That was the day.
Yeah. So same chords. Boo. And maybe do a little variation. So we have.
That was the day when I first saw you, smiling bright and hopeful, there you were.
So this whole section is where things really change. So what I heard in my head, which I thought would be really cool, is if we took these 2 chords, but instead of this, we go back to that B once again. And again, very similar to the chorus, but it's going to be slightly different in how you configure these chords. So let's hear that.
That was the day when I first saw you, smiling bright and hopeful, there you were.
Yeah. So apologize for the tempo situations here, but hopefully you get the idea. In fact, let's get that out of there. What we got?
Smiling bright and hopeful, there you were.
Bam, that's what I want. Yep. And then
standing at a friend's farewell party.
So standing at a friend's farewell party, instead of that, I want standing at a farewell party. So we'll do this. So
standing at a friend's farewell party.
And then I had a line. What was it?
We finally met.
Nope.
Farewell is sometimes alone. Of this I'm sure.
So this, the rough line right here, which has since been refined into something different, which I need to check my notes. Here are all my, let's see. Farewell is hello, sometimes I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted something very different at the end here. So I go to bar 8. And then, what is this? I think it's going to be D sharp minor. Yep. So we have
standing at a friend's farewell party.
Yeah, so I have, and then ending. So let's hear that. So the whole verse, I will just sing it because this is not what I want time-wise. So let's see what we got here.
That was the day when I first saw you. Smiling bright and hopeful, there you were. Standing at a farewell party. Farewell is love, sometimes I'm sure.
Something like that. Okay, so I am going to take all of this and see what kind of luck I get with changing the performances with these variations. So let's see what happens. Yeah, I like that. In fact, bring you over. Like that too. So what I just did is I just switched my tools here in EzKeys, right? It defaults as a pointer tool, but you have scissors as well. And then this one I never use, but I feel like I should at some point. Yeah, I like to kind of just go in directly and mess with the chords themselves, like inside here, but it's handy to have. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, bring this variation in, bring you away. Now I need for this verse to be 8 lines of dialogue here. So like 4 lines per section of the verse. So there's like a part 1, there's a part 2. So part 1 there's 4 lines, and then part 2 there's also 4 more lines. So that's like a requirement for these types of custom songs. It's just 8 lines per verse minimum. So I need to double this. So this is a cool opportunity to just explore some other variations here. So what I'm going to do is just copy this. And I like that. So, it kind of makes sense if you have an extended verse like this to make it a little bit more involved with what's being played. So let's hear the whole thing now. Let's see if I can sing what we got so far. So we got, that was the day when I first saw you, smiling bright and hopeful. There you were, standing at a farewell party. Farewell is hello, sometimes I'm sure. And then we finally met and we both hit it off. Do you believe in quantum entanglement? 'Cause this feeling inside has grown so large. Yeah, so that's the rough of that. We got the verses here. Now I want just like a simple pre-chorus. So like, so maybe, whoops. No. And then what we got? Right, so we have the pre-chorus here, right? We had some obstacles to work through. So if we bring that back, we had some obstacles to work through. So we're going from G flat to D flat again. And I feel like I want a little bit more of a change here too. I want to change here. So nope. Where do I want this to go? Maybe I want this to be. We had some obstacles. Yeah, that works even better. Okay. We had some obstacles to work through. Tasty. And then boo, boo, boo. And then this is going to be A flat. So we got, I want to see if I get lucky. We'll see what the pre-chorus here has to offer. I actually like that. So I'm going to go with that. But then this, I want another build up. So awesome. It's like they read my thoughts. So let's bring that in. Mute you. And then let's test that out. We had some obstacles to work through. I didn't listen up, fought and ran. And then bam, we're at the chorus. Okay, so this is going to help me structure everything else out. So yeah, so for right from the beginning, we're a minute into the chorus. And then what I want to do here is I want to create a little instrumental break. So where are we at here? Was that bar 29? Okay. So bring you over here. And what I'm going to do is just, whoops, I'm going to recycle this guy. And that's what's beautiful about this is that, you know, I could change this into anything I want performance-wise, right? So and maybe wrong one. And I want this to be a little bit more high energy. So let's see. We'll use the chorus again, but this time let's go to variation. And then that can be a nice little break, right? And then from there, I'm just gonna do a variation 2 of each of these. So in fact, you don't even need to see this part. I'm just gonna repeat the exact same steps that I did before. So I'll be right back to show you what I did. Okay, so here's everything laid out, right? Here's the entire song structure. So we have verse, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, instrumental break, and then everything repeats. And with the exception of right here, right? So we have this going into the first chorus, right? You see it's twice as long as this chorus, right? So we have a double chorus. And that's partly because, you know, it serves for dramatic effect and all that, but I also included different lyrics here and all that to include more details for the customer and all that sort of stuff. So that is the layout, and I'm gonna continue with this real quick. Just finish up everything with my pre-production to get ready for singing and bringing everything else in. So I'll be back. Okay, here we are. So here is the finished song. This has already been delivered for the customer, and fortunately they're happy with everything. I don't know, looking back, I feel like there's a couple of things I wanted to do a little bit differently, but given that we only have the span of like 4 days to write, record, you know, mix and master these songs, right? It's just a very, you know, intense exercise in just go with it. You know what I mean? Just like keeping with the momentum and not overthinking things. And, you know, just this whole process has taught me so much about, you know, how to approach songwriting and how to just kind of, you know, trust your instincts above all else, right? So I thought I would share this. If you want to check it out, feel free to stick with me. If not, feel free to skip ahead. But here it is.
That was the day when I first saw you, smiling bright and hopeful. There you were, standing at that farewell party. Farewell is hello, sometimes I'm sure. We finally met and we both hit it off. The air around us felt so charged. Do you believe in quantum entanglement? Because the feeling inside has grown so large. We had some obstacles to work through. I didn't listen, I rebelled, fought and ran. Remember the times when you would hold my hand, speaking of visions and the dreams you had. The path was rocky, but we made it to the other side. The road looks much brighter up ahead. So come with me, Carrie. So come with me, Carrie. Thinking about the times when we go walking and having lunch along the way, keeping the pace with our dog Eric, lost in those things that we'd both say. You are so loyal and caring, the most loving human I've ever met. And you need to know how much I love you. And for me, this is as good as it can get. I struggled and hurt you with my actions, but you showed me how to be myself. Remember the times when you would hold my hand, speaking of visions and the dreams you had. The path was rocky, but we made it to the other side. The road looks much brighter up ahead. You are my rock and I'm your kindness. There's nobody else that I want in this world but you. Can we look past the bad times and see a future with our hopes aligned? The mountains behind us with you by my side. So come with me, Carrie.
That's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for joining me on this video. And if you're interested in knowing how I was able to put the music and the lyrics together in a couple of days, like I said before, I've actually put my process into a step-by-step checklist that you can grab for free at the link in the description below. It's something that I just kind of have to pull up sometimes and follow anytime I hit, any kind of writer's block or anything like that. And it helps me out, and I think it'll help you out as well. So if you're interested, you can grab it there. It is free, and I will see you on the next one.